Here is some drone video that I shot earlier this week. You can see the main project going on right now is the dewatering around Sanford Dam. If you've been watching the live camera, you have been able to see a lot of this work that's been ongoing over the past couple weeks. Mainly this sheet pile being installed to the north and the south of the dam. And currently it looks like they're spreading some of this crushed limestone behind the dam to gain access to the portions where the Tanner gates used to be. We'll get right up nice and close into the powerhouse, and you'll actually be able to see some of these turbines in here. So a lot of work has been happening here as well. The grates have been removed from the front side here. It looks like they got the powerhouse all boarded up. Live camera was down for a couple days here while some of the utilities were moved and transferred to another location, but that live camera is now back up and running. So again, you're able to see all of this work happening. If you want to go ahead, check it out 24/7, you know where to go. I was also interested to see how well the dredging was when they removed all of the debris that was in front of this dam. And it looks like they did a pretty good job. Just a couple stumps maybe left here, but not really any foreign materials like plastic or human-made materials by the looks of it. I was kind of surprised by this. I thought there would be a couple more items that were maybe missed that were underneath the water when they were dredging this out that they weren't able to see. Looks like there's actually a stump still in place here too that was cut when the Sanford Dam was closed and this lake was allowed to fill. You can see a lot of the water that is seeping through over here in this corner. I'm not sure where this water is coming from, but it looks like they appeared to stop this by driving the sheet pile in the top right corner down a little bit lower elevation. Doesn't look like that really worked to slow that water seepage though. You can see how many pumps they have here though, really trying to get that water down. And I'm not sure what the game plan is going to be for going forward to stop that water going through. I haven't been out on site to be able to talk to the guys out there for those kind of details. I was just kind of in the area, so stopped, threw the drone up in the air and got some views, as I know a lot of people like to know what's going on. The sooner the better, not waiting months in between. But yeah, here's another shot of all of those pumps. They actually have the crane here moving one of those pumps. I think they were taking this one off site and had it disconnected. So maybe they're going to just, try to keep pumping the water out and keep the elevation down. That's a lot of money spent in gas though, as we can see how many pumps there are there. And look at the volume of water that they're having to keep out of that cut area in order to keep that water down. So I'm sure if they're able to, they would rather stop that inflow of water versus, keeping those pumps running. Here we can see the sheet pile that was installed, and you can see that there's a couple that were drove to a lower elevation that form this window where the water is flowing through. And all that riprap in place, stopping any erosion that may potentially have occurred when the water was redirected through this channel. The temporary bridge still in place here, still being used. It has not been raised this spring. We've actually been maybe fortunate enough that we haven't had a lot of, snow, spring, thaw, melt, so water levels didn't really increase that much and really didn't see any flooding this springtime to mention. Here we are in front of the dam now. You can see the sheet pile on this side, again, kind of forming this dike so that this area can be dewatered. And if you were watching the live camera, you would have actually seen, it was probably Fish and Wildlife or Fish and Game, our DNR, actually had a boat in the water here in front of the dam a couple times this week. It looked like they were doing some electroshocking of the water, and they were transporting the fish that were trapped in this area to the other side of that dike area and letting them, kind of go downriver or be on the other side, because this area here, as you can see, is being dewatered. And this pump right here was dewatering the area between the step portions of the dam and the sill. You can see the excavator on the other side going ahead, moving a little bit more of that crushed limestone to give access to the areas behind the dam. And again, you can see the sill that was poured over a year ago now, and that dewatering that is happening between the front of the dam and the dike. So if you were watching the live camera, you'll notice that they actually poured or dumped all of this crushed limestone to form a base so that the crane could go ahead and crawl out here, and then they installed that sheet pile right through this crushed limestone to form an impermeable barrier, at least on the front side of the dam where water is not seeping through there. And also this work down here to the south, they came in with this excavator, formed another base with crushed limestone so that they could gain access to the bank here, graded it, made sure that they had a nice slope on it, installed some smaller crushed limestone, and then installed this riprap on top of it again for erosion control on the downstream portion of the dam. They also have some barriers in place, trying to keep that sediment from going downriver. Been doing a great job. All the companies involved in this project have been really making a lot of progress. And here is a great shot of the park. I believe the park is going to be opening officially this spring. It looks like there's some people enjoying the playground out there, but I'll report back on the official start date as to when this park is going to be opening. I'm sure there are some teams that can't wait to get out there on those new baseball fields and fully utilize this park. So that shot was up at 400 feet in altitude, and this shot with the drone is also 400 feet in altitude, flying towards the north. We'll fly back directly above the dam and get that bird's eye view. Looks like a little bit of erosion happening where that water is being pumped over the top of the sheet pile, and that sediment is just coming from the crushed limestone that is being moved in front, well actually behind the dam by that excavator there. So directly over the top of the dam, you can see most of the area has been dewatered, but again, a lot of that water is coming from the north sheet pile, that north barrier that has been put in place. And we will see if they're able to stop that. Make sure you tune into the live camera and you'll be able to see that as well if they go ahead and do any more work to stop the seepage happening there. Take a quick look up to the north. You can see the lake bottom, Sanford lake bed up here, and the Tittabawassee River to the north. If you guys have enjoyed this video, make sure you leave a like. Leave any comments down below if you'd like this just short version of the video of me getting out there flying the drone and providing a little bit more timely update. And again, thank you to all my Patreons that make this content possible. And until the next one, I'll see you then. Thanks for watching, and make sure you hit the thumbs up button if you enjoyed this video. Also, make sure you subscribe so you don't miss the next videos I will be posting, and leave your questions, comments, and suggestions below. As always, I just want to give a massive thanks to the people who support me on Patreon. Never underestimate the value of your contribution to keeping this channel going. Thank you.